Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. Here we are at 5:32 a.m. Central Daylight Time. I wanted to be on exactly 5:30, but it didn't go. Didn't work out. I delayed things too much by doing this and that. So now that goes. Let's see. Forgot to make my tags. Well, we have Crown Royal. Everybody knows about Crown Royal. I don't have to say too much about it. #1 selling Canadian whiskey in the world. It's blended Canadian whiskey. Most Canadian whiskeys are blended, although you can get some what you call like single malts or straight whiskey from Canada. There's no age statement. Of course, there's a website, and I put a link below. It's very informative. It's been changed. I didn't see this on there recently, but when I was reading in there a couple of years ago or last year, it was saying they had only 67 employees over there in Manitoba. And, the headquarters is in Toronto, but it's a little town in Manitoba next to a lake. Now this Crown Royal, the base model, I guess you call it, the famous one, is made with 50 different whiskeys. Now, are those malt whiskeys mostly? No, I wouldn't think so. They don't say what they are, but I would assume they're mostly column still grain whiskeys of various ages and compositions. Just like most of your American blended whiskeys are, that you get about 20% straight whiskey. Now, what is the percentage or the blend ratio with this? I don't know. Now, Crown Royal costs you about $1 a bottle. If you go to some stores, it'll be more, but then those are stores that tend to be kind of expensive with any of their products. You know what I'm saying? They got some in Louisiana. Grocery stores sell liquor. Okay, we don't really have too many liquor stores. It depends on the parish, though. It depends on the parish. Some parishes are like some states in America. They don't allow liquor sales outside of a liquor store. Most of the parishes around here, if you have a gas station, grocery store, convenience store, then you can sell liquor. Just get a liquor license. So now some of the parishes are stricter. Like the one I'm thinking of is St. Bernard Parish, which is southeast of New Orleans. Southeast of Orleans Parish, New Orleans. They do not allow liquor to be sold in anything but a liquor store. That's their local option. Knowing the history of that parish is probably because some connected person owned a liquor store or a series of liquor stores. So their parish leadership decided 90 years ago, 87 years ago, let's make it to where only so-and-so can sell the liquor. I mean, I know how that kind of stuff works. Well, it's really the way those things work in all the states. These kind of liquor restrictions are not there to protect the consumer that they claim it's there to protect. They'll say, this is to protect you. No, it's to protect the monopolies or the group of monopolies. You know what I'm saying? Maryland, you can only buy beer, wine, liquor, any of those alcoholic beverages at liquor stores. Why is that? To protect you? No, of course not. It's to protect liquor store owners, to make sure they get all the action. If it was really, if the government was doing its job, it would allow much more liberal, a more liberal approach to these things. Okay, well, anyway, so here's the competitor, Heir to the Throne. Very obscure Canadian blended whiskey. You're never going to find a website for it, because I sure didn't, and I look, and I look. The company was called Rebel Spirits. It says a perfect blend, now that's saying something, a perfect blend of Canadian whiskeys, which have been carefully distilled. Okay, so all whiskey is distilled and then matured in oak casks. Every Canadian whiskey on the market is matured in oak casks. That's the law. All right. So, but these companies put that on there because it sounds good, and a lot of people, maybe they don't know. All right. Ultra smooth blended Canadian whiskey matured in oak casks. It's got the crown for Canada. Canada descending from the British monarchy, the British Empire, and now its own independent country, but still having Queen Elizabeth as the queen. There's a cork, real wood. So that's nice, real wood. Now this was going at, things getting dry. This was selling at Walmart for about $30. And there was no way I was buying it, 3 or 4 years ago. I didn't even know much about whiskey then. I don't know much about it now, really. And I guess nobody bought it. So then they discounted it like Walmart will do. When they get rid of something, they get rid of something. And I saw it for $15.65 around Christmas time. I guess it was 2017 or 2016. I said, well, who knows? It might be all right. And then I looked up Rebel Spirits on the internet, and they listed all their products, none of which they made. They sourced it from other distilleries. Whoops, wrong glass. That was the CR glass, the Crown Royal. I'll go rinse it. But it was strange because Rebel Spirits got bought by somebody else. And anyway, and then that company doesn't list anything. And then even when I was looking at the Rebel Spirits website, they didn't list the Heir to the Throne. So it's very, very rare. And my experience with it is you're not really missing much. It's kind of tolerable. It's okay. I gave it a good score at first, and then it just kind of went down. Here's the beautiful plastic crown for Crown Royal. Crown Royal was not sold in the United States until 56 years ago, even though it hit the market 81 years ago. It was a Canadian-only product. But for whatever reason, it wasn't sold in the United States. I have a solo review I recorded, but I was going to, and I forgot to upload it today. I ended up uploading Eel River Canadian Blonde beer, blonde ale. But tomorrow I plan to upload the Crown Royal solo review, and then I can jump ahead on timeline and upload the duo review that my friend David and I did here. And I'll just do them. I'll post them both tomorrow. How about that? Do the duo, then later in the day, do the solo review, which is long because I was trying to really think about it, and then the duo review later. I was going to wait to do the Eel River till tomorrow, but I was too late. I said, well, I'm uploading it now. I'm just going to let it stay. So this glass is wet from me rinsing it, but I think we get the picture. It's darker. The Crown Royal is darker. It's more amber. It's deep chestnut, even almost amber. This one's just amber or gold amber, so it's lighter. Do these Canadian whiskeys have color added, like caramel color? Yeah, I think so. They don't have to have it. It's allowed. Actually, if you read the United States Tax and Trade Bureau website, Irish whiskey, Canadian whiskey, and Scotch whiskey is not allowed to have any coloring or flavoring added, according to U.S. law. But there's one qualifying statement. They're not imported here under U.S. law. They're imported under the laws of their country. In other words, the production of Canadian whiskey is under the purview or the authority of Canada. So our laws would not matter, because we're just, the only law that's applicable is saying you can import the product under your guidelines. All right. It's confusing, I know. But if the U.S. law controlled Canada, then they would have to do it that way. But U.S. law does not have authority over Canada. So therefore, it doesn't matter. It's like Tennessee whiskey. I've had people get all excited with me and talk about, you don't know what you're talking about. Tennessee whiskey is blah, 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 blah. And they're telling me things I know about. I said, well, you realize that Tennessee whiskey is only legally in existence in the state of Tennessee. Outside of that state, there is no legal entity called Tennessee whiskey. All right. It's just whiskey of some sort, but not Tennessee. That's a state law. It cannot apply to other states. The United States government controls interstate commerce. Too much, of course, I agree with that. Overbearing, you know. But anyway, going on. Do I think this is going to be a contest? Well, I got so well disciplined Thursday that I'm not going to really be calling these things with too much confidence anymore, because I was saying, oh yeah, you know, Sonny Brook's going to get trounced by Seagram 7 Crown. It's going to be a laugh riot. I said that. No contest, a mismatch, all these kind of things. Don't waste your time watching it unless you want to see a beat down. So there's talk and talk and talking. Well, that's good. That was the hype, right? But then I poured the whiskeys. I'm smug, you know, just saying, yeah, yeah, yeah. But as soon as if you go back and watch that video, as soon as I started smelling them, taking the whiff, you could see my face. I was thinking, uh-oh. I was nervous because I couldn't tell them apart. As soon as I smelled them, I thought this is going to be a problem. And I thought it was going to be a snap. But I was wrong. It's good to get... I think it's good, though, because you just can be too confident or something. And you want to do good videos. You want to do good reviews. I do. I want to do good reviews. I want to be honest, unbiased as much as possible and all of that. So, you know, I was watching Darwin's beer reviews. Him and his wife, I guess it's his wife. She was saying, you know, she was being silly and saying something. Well, if we disagree on something, it's going to be a divorce, you know, about beer. Something, you know, she didn't mean it in a serious way. But, and I had a little problem with that because they were doing Budweiser Nitro Reserve, and it started off with the now we're going to do Budweiser Nitro Reserve, and sort of like here we go. And I'm thinking, but I didn't get into it with him. I didn't say, you know, but I was just thinking that's not really a review because you've already judged it, and you're saying that you never had it, or maybe you never had it before that week, because I know sometimes he will try them before he does the official posted review, which it's no big deal, you know. But I try to never do that, you know, give a score before I try it, which essentially is what you're doing when you're making a ha comment. You're giving the score, basically, you're preempting it. He did give an 81, which I think is fair for that beer, but I would go much higher, you know. But anyway, just something to be careful about. And it's constructive criticism, and if people criticize this channel with constructive criticism, I don't take issue with it, and I don't think he would. He's always responded to my comments in a very measured, polite, and actually friendly way. This one smells spicy. I know Canadian whiskey tends to have a higher rye, relatively higher rye content than a lot of American whiskeys, or at least that was the case years ago. Don't know about now. So that smells spicy and mentholated. True story. Mentholated, you say, like toothpaste. Yeah, it's strange how you get these things and they'll smell like that. But it doesn't smell like cornbread or corn grits. Although it's probably 80% corn derivative, but they're going to be using wheat, rye, barley, and then oftentimes flavorings like wine, rum, brandy. Barrel aged wine, true. Rum, brandy, and even bourbon from the United States can't go above 10% of flavorings. But and I was walking 2 days ago or yesterday and thinking, that's cheating, that's cheating. Like I was thinking what somebody might say. It isn't cheating because it's allowed. That is what it is. That's Canadian whiskey. It's not cheating to achieve a flavor. It's just that's how they make them. But I mean, yeah, if you want to make the argument it's not pure straight whiskey, we would have to agree with that because it's not straight whiskey, it's blended. And most Canadian whiskeys are. So when you do blended, but it gives you a wide range of options, which I don't see as a bad thing. It just depends how you look at it. All right, this one smells more smoky, strange, but a little bit, and more corn, much more corn. Now, which is which so far? I'm not sure because I got my eyes closed because of that shade difference. One darker than the other. If I glance, I'll give it away, you see. I don't have enough experience with Crown Royal to really know the whiskey yet. I tasted it like an ounce once years ago. You don't get much help from that. Then I did my solo review. That kind of gave me some insight on it, gave me some help on it. And then we did the duo review, but we only had about an ounce and a half each. So with a minimal experience like this, it's hard. I have more experience with Heir to the Throne. So, and I found it was kind of bitey and harsh, kind of rough, not too smooth. They were talking about how smooth it is. No, I wouldn't really say that. So here we go. Cheers to you. Let's see what time it is. Okay, we got 11 minutes. I got to watch the news. I don't have to. I like to watch the local news. Taste. Got the windows open. It's cool right now. It was 68 degrees, which for June, you say 68, it's not cool. Well, in Louisiana, it is. In June, that's remarkable. Dry, low humidity, dry air. It was 65 yesterday morning or 2 days ago, and I had the windows open. For a while, AC didn't click on till afternoon. You're saving on electricity, and it's nice. It's nice to have the windows open, get fresh air in. Be all cooped. Air conditioning is the pits. You all cooped up. Of course, being hot and sweaty is all day. It's not too cool. I work with a guy. He's a year older than me. He said when he grew up, they didn't have air conditioning in St. James Parish where he lived. They had no air conditioner in the house. They just had an attic fan that would move the air around. But he said that they weren't thinking about it. They were hot, but they didn't think about like, oh, we're so hot, we can't handle it. It wasn't in their thinking because they didn't have it. That tastes real basic. There's rye spice. I mean, some people call Canadian whiskey, or they used to years ago, like that song from 1971. They were drinking whiskey and rye. That means they were drinking whiskey like Jack Daniels and rye, meaning Canadian whiskey. Could have been Crown Royal for all I know. Probably was Seagram's VO back in those days. That was the big one. Back then that was the big one. Then Crown Royal slowly took precedence through advertising, marketing, and people liking it, I guess. VO's still popular, but it's taken a back seat to Crown Royal. I guess VO is number 2, though, still Canadian. I kind of like it more than Crown Royal, but we talking about that with minimal experience. You understand? So you can't take that. You can't take that too seriously. As I go through these taste challenges, I do believe that I'll get used to it and get a taste for it. This one has an even harsher rye edge to it. And I like rye whiskey. Like if I drink straight rye whiskey, I found that I like it more than bourbon, which some people would take as total heresy. So you're a heretic, you're a fool. All the cool people drink bourbon. Only the outliers, the rejects of this world drink rye whiskey and think it's good. Well, that may be true. But I just, at this point, I think I prefer it more than bourbon. But I've talked about the bourbon problems I've had in the past with that cornbread taste and that some of the stuff I don't go for. Like the charred oak part, just the cornbread part. Honestly, the initial flavors and tasting, they're not too different. I'm not picking up like major divergence here, which I'm a little surprised because I thought Heir to the Throne is kind of substandard. It can't match up. But then, when I did Crown Royal, what did I give it in the? So I can never remember these scores I give. I can remember the general impression though. I think I said 90, like just getting into excellent because of the quality control on it. I think when we did the duo, we were in the B range, like below 90. You say, well, Canadian Crown Royal is really a mixer. It's not made to be a sipper. You got to get their XL and the XO and the black and the reserve. Those are more of the sipping ones. I know that. And I intend to get them. But I figure you start at the bottom rung, climb the ladder, and see how it changes. Now I know with Johnny Walker, I jumped the gun. I started at the first rung, Johnny Walker Red, and then I jumped to the top rung, the blue. Well, I got a deal on it, so if you want to call that a deal, but it was a deal relative to the other places around here. It's kind of sweet, kind of corn now. The corn's coming into play. Some wheat, barley, yeah. Just like think of barley malt. If you drink enough beer like I do, you kind of know that barley malt taste. Honestly, though, that's just basic. It's just like sort of bland, run-of-the-mill Canadian blended whiskey. Nothing bad, just run-of-the-mill. What I don't know what to say. Mediocre, just not remarkable or outstanding. Not offensive. Now this one seems like it's got a little bit of an elevated rye approach, which is maybe maybe they tipped it a little too high. Put a little too much percentage of rye in there for the overall round. You know what I'm saying? Round taste. I don't mind the rye, but although that one smelled more mentholated. So I think that's probably the Heir to the Throne, and this is probably the Crown Royal, because I just remember that Heir to the Throne had this background, this underlying kind of harshness as it went down, kind of grating, which some people might like it. They say it's got more character. The Crown Royal is so smooth that it's just round and dull and nothing happening. Okay. Did I get a deal on the Crown Royal? Well, yeah, $44.99 for the big bottle, handle bottle, and 2 glasses. So this day and age, $44.99 for this big old bottle with the 2 glasses is a deal, because the normal price you're going to pay is $23 for $7.50, right? $23.99, $22.99 on sale for $7.50. Well, I paid $44.99 for a 1,750. I got an extra 1,000 milliliters plus 2 glasses, beautiful glasses. So usually, not always, be alert, not always, but usually you get the bigger container and you get a cheaper price per ounce. Now, that wouldn't be a good idea if you never tried something. You just want to sample it and see if you like it, because then what? You're stuck with it. But if it's a product you like, you like, or is famous and you assume you're going to like it, then just get the bigger vessel and save the money per ounce. Maxwell, hi Jay. Hey Maxwell, he's in the Russian Federation. He lives all the way in Russia. Okay, so I'm going to call it, I think this is the Crown Royal and this is the Heir to the Throne. Is it a big difference? No. Is it an important difference? No, it's actually a meaningless difference, because 99.999 repeating of the viewers of this channel cannot, will not, and It will not see it. They're not going to see Heir to the Throne. You might stumble across it. Chances are you won't. So there's almost no purpose in even doing the challenge, but except that I got the bottle and I do intend to sip it down through challenges. I'm not going to waste it. And who knows, you might see it one day, but I would say you're not. But so I have enough left for a good number of challenges, probably 5, I would say. So, and when it's gone, and I won't miss it. I'm not hating it as much as I seemed to about a year ago. It really seemed ghastly. But you know what? What did I say when I failed Thursday? You never know what these things taste like until you do one against another one. And if you do a challenge against some other whiskey, it might bring out flavors that you never realized it could have. So these things will have unique flavors challenge to challenge, I've noticed, depending what you're going up against. Yeah, it's even that way with beer. You do Coors against Budweiser. The Coors will taste different when you do it Coors against, say, Miller Genuine Draft. I don't know why. Little honey sweetness too, and I think the Crown Royal has that little honey note. I think. I don't remember the tasting notes. They're pretty elaborate. Like when you read their tasting notes, you're thinking, it doesn't seem as complex as they're claiming. But I don't think it's that they're lying. I think it's that me, like for instance, I don't know enough about it, so I don't pick up the things that their distillery master and blend master might pick up. But they're doing it all day. They deal with it all day long. So yeah, they're going to have a better appreciation or understanding of it. We're just consumers and we're not dwelling on it. It's not our job. So I'm going to say this is Crown Royal. If it says CR, it is. If it doesn't, it isn't. CR, Crown Royal. Okay, so I got to remember that, and the future taste challenges got to make a mental note, which is look for the honey. You know, think about it's the rye didn't make much of a difference here, except that the Heir to the Throne seemed a little bit more rye oriented. But my mental note now has got to be search for that honey note, and that's probably going to be the giveaway. Like with Canadian Club, you search for that honey, the honeycomb, like literally honeycomb cereal. When you pick up the honeycomb cereal note, you got it. Then you say, that's Canadian Club. With VO, it'll be very bland, but you can think and you pick up that wood note. It's like uncharred wood, you know, it's just like a wood, toothpick wood note. Then you say, oh, oak. And then you kind of have it. All right, thanks for watching this taste challenge. Tomorrow, I plan on doing the uploading of Crown Royal solo review and then the Crown Royal duo review. And I think you might find it very interesting. And then we plan to do taste challenges against all the other Canadian whiskeys that I own, which is a lot. So I hope you're willing to watch it. If you're not, I understand. And then we'll be on to Scotch whiskey at the end of the month. Yeah, Scotch. Blended Scotch. But yeah, one day single malt will come into play. Thanks for watching this video production.